talking about the problem with perfectionism and how it slows down your business growth. So, I want to start by sharing a story about a friend that I had, and she was really excited about launching her business. She had all these big goals for it. It was going to be super exciting, and she was kind of asking me, she was like, okay, like, what would you do first? And I was like happy to give her like a bit of free coaching because I've been like running my own business in one way or another for like the past 10 years pretty much. So I was happy to like give her some advice and be like, here are some things that I kind of wish that I had known in the beginning that are actually really important. And like when you get these, they don't seem like the obvious thing that you need to do first, but they're actually really pivotal because they're gonna lay the groundwork for everything that you do later. And so she was like, yeah, okay, like took some notes. And then she was like, oh, now I've hired a graphic designer to like make my logo. And I was like, honestly, if I was starting my business from the beginning, I probably wouldn't spend like my main focus on branding and like creating a logo and stuff, because it's really more important to like test your idea in the marketplace, like make sure people actually want it, and like speak to the people that you really want to work with and like find out what their problem really is, like how they talk about it. Get really clear on that, because when you have a business, basically you're in the business of solving problems. Like you basically exist to solve someone else's problem for them. And so you need to know what that problem is and be able to like articulate it to them in a way that they're going to recognize you as an expert. And the logo is not that important in that, especially in the beginning, because most of the time, like, you don't want people to be connecting a personal brand with your logo. You want them to connect your personal brand with you. So like you showing up is kind of like it's your logo, if you will. But it's like those things really need to have, those things need to exist because they're going to inform everything else you do. Like your branding is not for you, it's for your clients. So you really need to figure that part out first. And she totally disregarded my advice, which is fine. Like, I don't take it personally. Like, everyone is free to do whatever they want to do, but she spent all this money investing in like getting the branding right, and then things just kind of fizzled out. Like she sort of was trying to do that. She was trying to do like some things that I kind of call them like surface level business activities. Like they're fun to do, they're maybe important down the line, but those aren't really the things that bring in the income, and they're not the thing that like move the needle, especially when you're getting a business off the ground. And so when I was talking to her a little bit later about it, I was like, okay, like what's kind of like your thought process? Like, why are you doing this instead of focusing on like how you solve people's problems? And she was just like, oh, I just like really need it to be perfect. I really need to have like the logo be perfect. I need to have like this be perfect. And then I noticed exactly what was happening. And basically she was trying to make herself feel worthy of having this business by having all the bells and whistles that would make it look like she knew what she was doing. And this isn't bad per se, but when you are slowing yourself down by like procrastinating on doing like those little tasks that will keep you busy for a long time but they won't actually move the needle forward, you're basically putting off doing those big activities because you're scared, because you think that things need to look perfect or be perfect before you can go out there and help someone. And I was like, honestly, if you're going to go and help someone, they don't care if your logo is perfect. They don't care if you have a perfect website, perfect branding. They want to know that you can help them, and that's it. But so much of the time we are trying to hide behind our logo. We're trying to hide behind like everything looking a certain way because we think that's what's going to make us valuable. We think that's what's going to like establish us as an expert, but that's not the case. And so it's kind of like to bring it all back around to like how this is slowing your business growth. Basically, you're wasting all your time in these little activities that are taking you way more time when you could be out there putting your business out there, getting it out there, like just growing it and taking like fast, messy action and building it as you go, which is really a more advantageous way, especially if it's a new business and especially if it's in something like service-based. It's really helpful to just get out there and start working with people and really testing your idea and being like, is this what people want? Listen to them, get that info back from them, and then build your business around that, because then the market is literally telling you what they want. They're telling you, this is what my problem is, this is how I think about it, this is how it's affecting me, and then you can build your brand around that. But if you're stuck trying to make the perfect logo for like 3 months, well, that's gonna slow you down. That's like 3 months wasted where you could potentially be making revenue. And it's like, I've seen people have successful businesses with nothing except for a sales page. And so it's like, when you know that you can help someone, you can solve their problem, and you can communicate it with them, then it's your responsibility to go out there and do that. And if like your zone of genius is not creating a logo or brand, don't waste your time doing that. Like in the beginning, whatever you can do on your own in Canva is fine. Just get something out there, start getting clients, see what their problem is, start helping them. But that perfectionism, when it creeps in and starts telling you that everything needs to be perfect, it needs to look a certain way, it's just fear holding you back. So we need to always like recognize the fear and just basically tell it to go away, because fear is a terrible advisor. Fear is not the way that you want to run your business or your life. And also being overly hard on yourself, being a perfectionist, telling yourself you need everything to be a certain way, being really hard on yourself, being critical of yourself, it really destroys your self-esteem. And basically, our self-worth is built by the way that we communicate and talk to ourselves and how we treat ourselves. Like that relationship with ourselves is everything. And other people look to us to show them how to treat us. Everyone is always just mirroring back to you what you believe about yourself. So if you don't believe that you're valuable without the perfect logo, then it's like, well, what does it say about your services or like your ability to help people? Like it shows that you just don't feel worthy or deserving of like having that position, going out there like helping people and doing the damn thing basically. And so people pick up on that energy, and then when you're like, why is there not clients coming through the door, maybe I need to redo my branding, it's not that at all. It's because you're not giving off the energy of someone who's an authority. And establishing authority is so crucial in business. It is everything. There is studies done about the way that humans beings interact with each other, and our obedience to what we perceive as authority figures. It's massive, and people underestimate this all the time because they think it's like their branding, they think it's their logo, they think it's like all these things, where I'm like, not that those aren't important, but if you can establish yourself as an authority and a leader and you feel worthy and deserving of being there, people are going to listen to you. People are going to do what you tell them to do because they see you as an authority, and we are basically hardwired to listen to what authority figures say and do what they tell us to do. And it sounds really wild, but it's true. So it's so much more important to establish yourself as the authority, and to do that you need to overcome like that self-critical tendency, and you need to overcome that need for everything to be perfect, because it really doesn't. You really need to get okay with things being good enough. Like there's always room to improve, and that's the incredible thing about having a business, is you're always expanding, you're always growing, you're never technically done. You can always be looking at how to do things better, or like how to do like your next level. But the thing is you're not going to get there if you get stuck on like level 1 and just trying to do those things and do them perfectly on the first go. It's wasting your time, it's slowing you down, it's losing you clients essentially, because every moment that you're not out there selling your work or your program or whatever it is time wasted and potentially money wasted, and that's like your client going to someone else. So you need to become okay with being good enough. You need to be okay with things being done is better than perfect, needs to become your new motto. So when you start to build that self-esteem and you know that you are worthy and deserving, and it's not like your logo or your branding that's going to determine those for you, people feel that energy, because people, whether they're aware of it or not, we're always just picking up on each other's energy, each other's vibes. And so when you're stuck in like this need to get things perfect, then you're not giving off that energy of an authority, of a leader, of someone that is going to help these people like accomplish what they want to accomplish, and it's just going to slow you down. So perfectionism is really just holding you back. It's slowing down your business growth. Like instead of focusing on how to get things perfect, be like, okay, it's done, that's enough, like on to the next thing. And then as you do each thing over and over again, it will naturally get better on its own. So instead of putting all this pressure on ourselves for it to be perfect the first time, we have to let that go and know that like that self-critical voice, it's like we need to let it go. We need to replace it with something that is like motivating, that is like encouraging, that's telling us that we're doing a great job. So just to recap, basically don't get stuck in doing those little business activities that you think that they need to be perfect before you can help someone. Like, people need what you have to share, so you need to just go out there and do it and start sharing it now, and everything else is going to get built up along the way. And it's like, when you look at like every brand you can think of, like the way they started is not the way they are now, so why would you be any different? You just have to start somewhere and like get it going, and consistency is going to be the thing that brings you results. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you're struggling with perfectionism, book in a free strategy call and let's talk about how we can help you overcome that in just 21 days. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will talk to you soon.